Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. 2 days ago, I posted a video on my channel that IRCC is disappointing because they promised that they'll share their backlog data every month, and they have not yet for September. But just today, they have shared the data, and here are the details. So overall, this is I would say it has been a mediocre month in terms of processing, okay, across all lines of business. Okay, so currently the backlog is same 2.6 million. It has not reduced overall figure. Okay, and the economic immigration, the PR people, that has increased. The backlog has increased. Okay, but I'll tell you what is the definition of backlog according to IRCC. If we talk about the 2.6 million people in the application pool right now, there are 1.1 million people who are within the service standard time. I'll just share service standard time in a bit. And 1.49 people are outside the standard time. For example, if a PR application is to be processed within 6 months, 1.49 million, almost 1.5 million people, they are above that service standard. Meaning, some people, some applications are processed within a year, 8 months. Whatever is above 6 months, it is a backlog. So this is the definition of Canadian immigration backlog. If your application goes above the service standard time, that is a backlog. For example, my application was approved 2 days ago, and that application took 10 months and 1 day. Okay, so it was above the service standard time, right? It was above the service standard time. So this was part of the backlog. Now it is cleared. But this data is accurate until September 30th. Okay, and I mean, a few of my subscribers have been commenting that they have also received PPR, meaning their applications were processed as well. So, I mean, they are now shifting towards a faster pace, but this was the backlog, okay? 1.49 million people. Now, if I talk about the service standard times, then as I said, for express entry, for overall PR, the service standard time is 6 months. Okay, express entry, all programs, all PNP programs are related to express entry programs. And if we talk about the spousal and family sponsorship, then the standard processing time is 12 months. Okay. If we talk about TRVs, visit visa, study visa, work visa, the standard processing time is 120 days. Okay. And if we talk about the citizen application, then the service standard is of 12 months. Now, let me give you a summary of what you're going to read in the link that I'll post in the description, right? So, the current citizenship inventory stands at 352,000. It was 371,000 previously. So, in 1 month, they have reduced the overall number, whereas new people are also applying for citizenship. For example, my friend who has just completed his 3 years in Canada, he's going to apply for a citizenship as well. Okay, so this 352,000 people, citizenship applicants, they are also in the overall IRCC backlog 2.6 million. Okay, so it's not all 2.6 million does not mean that everybody is from express entry or PNP. There are citizenship applicants 352,000. Then, if we talk about permanent residents, including express entry, direct PNP programs, or whichever pathways for permanent residents, the inventory stands at 614,000. Now, if we imagine, since July until September 30th, IRCC has issued, let's say, 20,000 ITAs. I haven't calculated the right number. If they have calculated 20,000, now the backlog has increased by 100,000. 20,000 ITAs, 100,000 people backlog. So imagine these people had a family of, let's say, 2 or 3 members. In my case, I have family of 4. Okay, so if they had 2 or 3 family members, then if we multiply 3 by 20,000, it's 90,000. And not everybody is married, or not everybody has a child, right? So I mean, why the backlog number has increased to 100,000? This is something that a question would arise in everybody's mind. Likewise, it arose in my mind as well. So the only answer that I can come up with is TR to PR. You see, the people who applied through the TR to PR pathways, that you remember in 2021, 90,000 people were supposed to get through the TR to PR pathway, but many of those people did not yet receive their acknowledgement of receipt, their AOR, because if they receive their acknowledgement of receipt, it means that now their file is going to be processed. In my opinion, there could be 5 to 10,000 people from the tier to peer pathway who would have received an AOR now. And also, other than express entry, there are other immigration pathways, as you know. For example, direct PNP programs. For example, AIP, Atlantic Immigration Panel, Rural Northern Immigration, and even Ontario gives you a nomination for for some streams which are not linked with your express entry. Saskatchewan has their OID category as well. So, like, there are many other PNP programs as well, and they are now getting their nominations. And let's say 20,000, 15,000 people must have been added in the pool, because you see, Saskatchewan alone has given 7,000 notification of interest, right? So OINP has given notification of interest to many people as well, and now they are receiving their PNP nominations. So they are added in the pool after they receive their ITA and they submit their application to IRCC. So it is like a cycle, right? And the wheel is continuously moving. There is no end in close sight. Okay. The third category is the TRVs, temporary residents, study visa permit holders, and work permit holders, and the visit visa permit holders. So the current inventory stands at 16 lakh 44,000, 1.6 million people. Previously, it was 1.7 million people. Okay, so around 60,000 applications are reduced. Okay, so this is a great thing. Only the PR categories application backlog has increased, but TRV's backlog has decreased, and citizenships backlog has decreased as well. So this was the summary. And you are welcome to read all of the article that I'll share in the description. But thing is that, I mean, these are the points that you're going to find out. Okay, now let's talk about the graphs as you will see them on your screen right now. These are the federal high-skilled people. Federal high-skilled people include CEC, FST, and the blue dotted line shows the anticipated drop in the backlog. And the red line shows the actual drop in the backlog. Okay, and if somebody does not know, by December 2020, IRCC aims to complete application process for at least 80% of people. Okay, and for federal high skilled worker, they are slightly faster than their anticipation. Okay, in at the end of September, on 30th September. If we talk about provincial nominee program through express entry, the backlog is high because I don't know. You see, I should have gotten a PPR in September, but I did not. So in October, I imagine that there will be a drop in October. Okay, when we'll see the data for 30th October, then there will be a drop. And then if we talk about the spousal and children family sponsorship, then the backlog is still high. Maybe the new employees are still getting trained or whatever the reason is. But the actual against forecast, there is a difference, but the difference is not very high. Okay, and if we talk about the citizenship application, it is almost at par. Now, here is the important part: work permits. But if you see the blue dotted line, it is going up like a mountain. Now, the reason why they are forecasting a high number of work permits to stay in the backlog is because you see, IRCC, if you don't know, IRCC has announced that they're not going to process work permits unless they are in the prioritized occupations. I have made a video on IRCC delays work permits. Okay, you can search that. IRCC delays work permits who are not in the priority occupations. So therefore, IRCC has anticipated a huge backlog in the work permits. Okay, this is why you see the blue dotted line going up. And if we talk about the study permits, in my opinion, IRCC is doing great in the processing those applications. Whether it is rejected or approved, that is a separate thing. But they are processing those applications fast. And you see that in September 2022, there is a big drop against their forecast. They had forecasted this level to be achieved at the end of October, but this level is already achieved in September 30th forecast, the actual position. Okay, but I imagine that in the next month maybe this will not be as low as it is right now. I don't know why, but you see, August and September we have new intakes, but in October and November we don't have. I mean, in November, December we don't have new intakes, right? So maybe that will be a little high. And last but not the least, temporary resident visas, they are currently okay. I mean, not too much, not too less. They are at par with their forecast. Okay, so this was the current situation with the backlog, and 2.6 million people. I would have loved to see the number, I mean, lower down, but the total permanent resident inventory is 614,000, which is increased by 100,000. Okay, but just keep in mind that not everything is the backlog. Backlog is only the ones that are above the service standard time, 6 months, 12 months. I've shared the standard times with you. Okay, so according to IRCC, if we talk about permanent residents only, 289,000 people are within the service standard time out of the 644. So almost 47% people are within the service standard time, and 53% people are above. 53% people are in the backlog. Okay, so this is it. This is it. Thank you very much for listening. And with these words, this is Alif Takhar, and I'm hoping that the PPR is coming your way soon.